we have an interesting question today that actually doesn't involve either of these teams. The question is, should we take away Caliber Jacobs' laptop? Yes or no?
What is that?
Personally vote yes.
Why?
Okay, I just wanted to put that clip at the beginning because it had me giggling when I first saw it, and I usually put the funny clips at the end, but anyways, that was there. So Playdate number 4 was September 15th, 2021. This was stage 3 of the NAL. Mirage took on XSET. We had Auction versus Beast Coast, Astralis versus Space Station, and Dark Zero versus TSM. The first game was Mirage versus XSET on Coastline. So what happened? XSET got off to a pretty good start, as they sometimes do in games. And they just played Coastline just before this against Sonics, and they beat Sonics, which was a big upset. And the week before, they played Astralis on this map, but they lost to Astralis. So where did it leave them? Well, let's see. And Mirage, generally in the past, has been pretty good on Coastline. XSET won the first round in flawless fashion, and then they won the second and the third rounds. But then Mirage took a round, and then they went back and forth. So 4-2. Mirage, after the third round, they took a timeout, which I guess probably helped them win this round, and then maybe in effect helped them win this round. So 4-2 on XSET's hat. It's pretty good, and it could be better, and you know it could be better because Mirage actually does it right here. They go 5-1 on their attacking half, and they win the game 7-5. XSET calls their timeout here. It didn't actually help them win a round until here. In this round, round 10 was actually it was a big clutch round by XSET. It was like a 2v4 clutch, I think, and it was sort of reminiscent of that round against the Sonics that I showed, where the two XSET players weren't found out their positions. One was above and one was hiding in blue bar. And in this game, one was above. Maybe they were both above. I'm not sure where the second one was, but they were both above. And just like the round between Sonics and SSG, saw one or two members of Mirage push from office through blue bar and then into Sunrise, and Dream gets a double kill, and then he starts putting down the plant, but Filthy with Aruni, he punches the ceiling above him and shoots him and kills him, and then that was the first kill, and then they get the other 3 kills, but not before Nyx, I think it's Nyx, plants the diffuser, and maybe it was the other player, whoever else was alive, I think, and it puts them in a 2v2, and then they kill one of the Mirage members, and then it's Nyx in a 1v2 clutch position, but then Filthy gets the last kill and he disables. So it was a really nice clutch, but they had to clutch to win the one round they actually got on the house. So Mirage was really good on attack. So I will show the clip for round 10 here.
Still this spread from XSET, but Dream's gonna walk right in. He sees the Malusi and he only needs a little bit. He smacks the booty, and 2 big kills for him, as he can now go at any point for a potential plant. He'll do just that behind the safety of the bar inside of Sunrise. This will prompt the 2 XSET members to try and drop on down. Dream taken out by Filthy from above. Why? Because Aruni can just punch her way through the floor, and now she's got case control as well, right by the kegs. Razor will have to head to that bottom floor. You don't want both of your players upstairs because they can ultimately get boxed out. A couple warning shots from Filthy, but he's still got aerial supremacy, and down goes Benji. A 2v2. This was very much in the favor of Mirage, but it's been swung back the other way. The grenade goes out, and it doesn't kill Filthy, but very close, and he'll be a shadow of himself. A single bullet through the ground should be his undoing. Case has been retrieved, and up on the futon it'll be planted over by Nyx, and now I'll hold that same position. We're in Mudroom. Long angle. Fast charge goes out, it'll blow open the wall, and there'll be even greater coverage for them. The loading goes down. Nyx will need to be the hero. He finds himself in a 1v2. Could be a 1v1 if he does a single point of damage to Filthy. He'll open up another line of sight on in as Filthy looks set to hop on that diffuser. Razor buying time at the halfway point. Either XSET member showing that they know what they want to do with that case. Filthy flirting on and off. Nyx can hear the bullets go on over. XSET looking to tie this one up. They're almost past the point of no return. Filthy goes off. There goes Nyx, and they have plenty of time to do it.
And it was a pretty long one, as you could see, but I thought it was a nice, fun clip. And I guess that does it for this game. I just want to mention, I have the numbers over here for entry, and they're different. So like I was saying in a previous video, the new system of who actually gets the kill when somebody downs a player and then somebody else finishes them. Yeah, so the kill feed says one name, but that's not who is actually getting the kill. So it makes tracking it a lot harder. Since I'm like, you know, manually doing it, that CGG I'm assuming is like automated or something, or maybe not. But I mean, I guess I can just look at the kill counts on the side of the screen and see when that changes, but it's a lot more difficult. So as you can see, like here and here and here, there was one round where somebody downed the player and somebody else killed them. So it makes things a bit strange. I'm not sure how I'm gonna reconcile this going forward. I'll figure something out, and I probably have to look back at the other playdays. There's probably instances of this there as well. But anyways, second game of the day, Oxygen versus Beast Coast on Chalet. So Oxygen saw TSM beat down Beast Coast, and they wanted their turn, and that's exactly what they did. Oxygen, they destroyed them. I mean, this round was flawless, and this round was flawless, and then they go up 6-0, and then they call a timeout. Like, what an absolute flex. I think the casters were saying, oh yeah, it's a good idea to call the timeout now to really just to make sure you just secure the round. But like, Beast Coast has to already be down so absolutely terribly that, and you know, they burned their timeout here, Beast Coast did. So you're using your timeout. So you're giving them a little bit of a chance. So assuming the timeout is always better for the team that is like losing or just went down a bunch of rounds, then you're just improving. You're making it better for Beast Coast, and also if somehow they start mounting a miraculous comeback, you don't have a timeout to slow them down. But I mean, like, it was so unlikely that Beast Coast was going to come back after the absolute spanking Oxygen had given them. But attacker side of Chalet, like, it was possible, but I mean, it just wasn't a good decision, right? But it was just a massive flex by Oxygen. Whatever. But they did. Beast Coast does win the next round, so you know, some eyebrows might have gone up. But then, you know, Oxygen closed out right after this. I think statistically this was slightly less of destruction against Beast Coast than TSM doled out, but it was pretty close. I averaged out the ratings for each team, and I think the TSM had a higher average rating than Oxygen did, and I think Beast Coast might have had a lower rating in the TSM game. But I think I have. Can I show it here? Nope. Control tab. Yeah. This is the Beast Coast Oxygen game. As you can see, the lowest rated player on Oxygen had over double the rating of the highest rated player on Beast Coast, and that was the reason that I initially thought it was more destruction. But if we look at the TSM game, and so the average here was like for Oxygen was like 1.504 or something, and for TSM here it was like 1.52 or something. It was a little bit higher. Watching the game, just because. And if you also factor in the fact how quickly Oxygen was planting on them most rounds and just ending the rounds, I feel like the Oxygen game felt like a bigger destruction than the TSM game. But statistically, it might have been TSM. Anyways, they were both absolute smackings. So that was that game. The round I want to show here is round 5. This is just it goes from 5v5 to 5v0 because it's a flawless round. One player is just sitting in mud and the window's closed and he just gets shot through the window, and then there's just an absolute flurry of kills, and then it's down to like a 1v5, and then I think it might be Fozo and he's just alive for like another couple seconds, and then it ends. So I'm gonna show this round because it just has the air of what goes down in this game, of just how Beast Coast is just like sort of in positions and stuff, and then it just crumbles so quickly. Oh, and maybe it was this previous round, which is not the one I'm going to show, but I think this is, no. Is it this round? No, maybe it's this round. Yeah, it must be this round, where Vertical just like walks into bar, and this has happened before. Vertical just like walks in bar and gets a double, and then they just destroy, destruction. Anyways, I will show this round now.
Sippin takes 1 bullet's worth of HP off, but young Alec is facing a window or the wrong way. Goodness gracious. 2 kills from OXG, and Beast Coast look lost in this round. We'll continue to pivot back towards the bomb site, but OXG have not been able to get a flawless thus far, at least not that I've recorded. Now this is a good opportunity to do that. Two players from Beast Coast nearby, and oh no, JJJ! My goodness. Oh, that is an unfortunate situation. A flawless on the board now with Bozo and Dara back stock, and that's it.
And yeah, there's probably other rounds I could show as well, like that other round I was talking about, and then maybe even there's a couple of 4Ks here, but that's the round I decided to show. So let's move on to the next game, Astralis versus Space Station. So historically, I think Space Station beat Astralis both times they played, and last time it was a smashing at 7-2. And this time was no different. It was once again a 7-2. SSG pulls out Oregon, which they haven't played in quite a while because they decided to start perma-banning it because they were quite bad on it. And I think Astralis maybe didn't play it much either, but they both, neither of them banned it, so they decided to go here. And it looks like Space Station had something just absolutely in the works because they smoked them. Space Station even started on attack and went 4-2 on their attack half on Oregon, and Oregon probably being the most defensive-sided map. And then once they get on defense, they do not drop around. So Astralis is on the struggle bus a little bit these days. I think probably I'm going to do a power ranking in a separate video from this one, but I will show the actual point rankings and you'll see where they are now. Not too much to say about this game. It's just one of those games that make SSG look like one of the absolute best games in the world. They just look so incredible. So good. And, there's games like when Auction smashes Beast Coast and when TSM smashes Beast Coast, but I think Astralis just is held to a little higher standard, that it's more impressive when they get demolished than when like XSET or Beast Coast does. But again, always open for the Beast Coast or the XSET boss up one of these days, so I'm still waiting to see it. Gonna need to see more than one game each. Yeah, so Space Station looked great. The round I'm gonna show is gonna be round 6. This is right. Bosco almost pulls off the ace clutch. It wouldn't have been a 1v5 ace clutch because the first like 1 or 2 kills, Hot and Cold are still alive. But yeah, they go down to a 2v5, and then Bosco gets a kill or 2, and then Hot and Cold dies, and then Bosco gets like some 1 or 2 more kills. And then he runs into Supply, and he just isn't looking the right way to take the gunfight with Shuttle, so he gets shot in the back. And I guess really I don't have to describe the whole round because I am going to show it now.
And here comes Houghton. Once again, though, no surprises here, and that principle applies to the members of SSG as well. They'll be aware of this sudden addition to the hit. As we're going to see, they can find immediate impact on it as it's going all the way of Astralis this time. 3 frags in their favor, no success for SSG. Only a quarter or so of the incendiary grenades have been used. Obviously, that's progressively ticking down, but still, for the most part, utility untouched here. And SSG does not know what to do. A nade kill will be a good start to making things up, though, as they finally take out J9L.
Fantastic. Oh my gosh, this
Houghton.
is just the Rat King Houghton. Crawling,
here,
slowly crawling his way up here. I don't believe that they know he's here. He's going to have to step up because of the poison, but they'll finally be able to find him. Redder went back to check the angle just in time, but this is actually given enough time to Bosco, Clutch King, by the way, to win this out in a 1 versus 2. Don't count him out just yet, folks. He does have the case control, but not very much time anymore, and he's chosen frags instead. The chunk is down by Pillar, but now that there's a Banshee, this is more than likely done and dusted. They know where he is now and have the angles, but Iconic's dead, doesn't look left. That's a quad for Bosco. That Shuttle will shut down.
So that would have been a cool round, and that would have been maybe the first actual ace because we had that J9O ace, but one of them was with the new down kill system or whatever. Bosco is known as one of the most clutch players in the game, and this would have just added to his repertoire. But in the end, it was Shuttle who won the 1v1 clutch against the back of his opponent. For the final game of the day, Dark Zero versus TSM. Finally, we saw overtime, and it's very fitting that Dark Zero was the team to take us there. And it was a crazy game. I mean, I was watching some people tweet, and they're like, "Man, when are we gonna get a good?" Yeah, I think it was during this game they were saying, "When are we gonna, all the NAL games end so quickly? When are we gonna see some overtime, some good games, or whatever?" And I mean, yeah, you'd think that it was gonna end early. DC wins the first round, and then TSM wins the next 5 in a row. But again, this is Oregon defensive half for TSM, so you got to keep this in mind. Achieved gets a nice 1v3 clutch here, and not the best 1v3 clutch ever because I think one of the players was already downed. I don't think by Achieved, but by somebody else, and then he gets 1 kill, and then the last kill, the guy is just stuck planting. So not the most impressive 1v3, but a 1v3 is always impressive in some regard. Okay, yeah, we saw Hyper playing some Glaz. There were some nice mind games going on. So in the first round and the second round, Hyper picked Glaz, he showed Glaz, and then he 6-picked off to Twitch. So he was just, I suppose what he was trying to do, he was trying to give the impression that he was just gonna pick Glaz every round and 6-picked off it every round. And I was wondering why he was doing this, because really, if you want to be most effective with your 6-pick, you should just pick a normal operator that looks like you might actually play, and then 6-pick off them, because then if they see the Glaz, it's easy to figure out who was 6-picked off of. But if it's some normal operator, then it's harder. But they were doing that because they wanted to stick the Glaz 1 round, so they actually did. And in this round as well, he plays Glaz, but he plays it, but TSM has the read on them. I suppose they assumed that he was gonna do this one of this round, actually stick the Glaz, so they pull out the Warden. So theoretically, Warden should have the advantage on Glaz because they both have that ability. They can both look through smokes, and they both get disrupted by like moving and stuff, but Warden has a full auto gun, and also I suppose unless they saw him on a drone or something, they didn't know that TSM had the Warden. But Hyper just goes into laundry. So he's looking through a smoke, the smoke fades, he just keeps staring at a hole, you know, like a hole in a wall, waiting for somebody to swing, and then he throws another smoke, and then Warden just peeks into it, and he just gets one tap to the head. And so it was funny. So I think in theory the Warden should have countered the Glaz. It should have been the right pick, but the Glaz ended up winning. So that went down. We went to the second half, and generally I don't root for TSM, but I did predict TSM, so I was rooting for them in some fashion. I wanted to see Dark Zero win more, but for the sake of my predictions, I wanted TSM to win. So DZ runs it back 4 rounds in a row, and then TSM finally gets one, and then they call a timeout. Dark Zero does, and then it looks like TSM is going to win this round too. They play meeting, and it's a 4v4, and Geo gets into plant. He plants in kitchen, and then one way or another, all 4 members of TSM get killed. They clean sweep in the 4v4. Dark Zero takes it. They disable, and they go to overtime. And then, as Dark Zero does, they win both rounds in overtime. These guys cannot lose in overtime in the NAL. They are savages. So they win their defense as expected, and then. But because both halves were 5-1, it was sort of, I mean, I think most people were probably assuming Dark Zero was going to win defense, then TSM was going to win defense, and then Dark Zero would win defense and win the game. But they did not even need to go to round 15. And this round was crazy. If you haven't seen the hot drop thing before, and I don't think I'd seen it in pro play before, but I think somebody was talking about like Cyclops had done it, and then somebody else was saying that NIP did it versus Liquid, and maybe that's where it originated from. I'm not sure, but well, and this one, I was gonna not explain this one, but I will explain it because you can't see everything that's going on the screen. 2 players stand on the freezer hatch, and 2 players stand on the meeting hatch, and there's Habana pellets on both, enough to break it, and they'll fall through. They'll take some damage, but they'll just, you know, quick drop. And then I think the last player went down backstairs, so they basically just rushed the objective, and it worked out. I think it was still just a 5v5 when they did it, and they got 4 kills and 2 deaths, so it was 3v1, and then the 5th kill came quickly after that. So I'll show that clip now.
Hyper still going to have himself
he's
a
not.
very good gun to work off.
No, they're not. No, they're
2
not.
of them going down
no,
here.
They're not.
It stinks that there's no one on the other side of it, but still, we need to see the results of this here. TSM catches it though. Bolo tries to fend it off, but it's not going to work. Merc and Achieve getting 2, but it's all going the way of Dark Zero now. Geo, the only one left standing, as all of a sudden Dark Zero burst onto the site and win the match.
And that's a crazy way to end the game. Everyone was saying, oh, they gambled it all and whatever, but like they had another defense round to play after this, so it's not like this is round 15. Like they had another round to play that they were likely to win because it was so defender sided. But anyways, it was a crazy way to go out. And I think I saw somebody mentioning that maybe Dark Zero has done in the past. I was thinking maybe it was a thing that Canadian just came up with brought to the table recently. I guess he didn't come up with it because other teams had done it. But yeah, crazy game. This has to be the best game we've seen on the stage so far. It's the only one that's gone overtime. It had crazy plays. It had a big comeback. Yeah, good game. Fun to watch. Dark Zero looking good. TSM are still looking pretty good, but you know, if theoretically Dark Zero are the best team in the league right now and TSM just barely lost them, then I suppose TSM is still pretty good. So let's just look at the rankings and see what's going on. I think there's a pretty clear disparity forming between the top half and the bottom half, even though the dividing line, I would say it'd be between TSM and Beast Coast, 5th and 6th, but it is only 1 point for the time being still. So what do we have here? We have Oxygen, Space Station, Sonics, Dark Zero, TSM, Beast Coast, Mirage, Astralis, and XSET. Oxygen, undisputed top of the league. They are 4-0, but not every team has had the chance to play 4 games. Dark Zero hasn't lost yet, but after playing the same number of games as Oxygen, after they catch up and when they play the 2 more games or whatever, they still can't catch up because they did lose a point here. In 4 games, Oxygen is now better than everyone else. Nobody can catch them in that number of games, but if Oxygen starts losing, they can of course be caught up too. But yeah, I mean, you can see 12 points to 6 points is a big gap, but Space Station's only played 3, Sonics have only played 3, but still, they can only get to 9 points. So everyone is sort of just fighting for second at the moment. Not for at the end of the stage, of course, because you've only played 4 of your, 8 games you're going to play. So still a lot of space for things to develop. But it does look like the competition for the bottom of the board is pretty well established. I mean, like TSM is close, but they played 1 fewer game than all 3 of these teams, and they have 1 more point than all of them still. Beast Coast plays Mirage next, I think. So we'll see where that goes. I mean, that's gonna put somebody. If Mirage wins in regulation, it could put Beast Coast equal with Astralis and XSET, and Mirage will then have the tiebreaker versus Beast Coast and XSET. And XSET is in easily the worst position right now because they're tied in last. They have, I guess, better round differential than Astralis and Mirage, but Astralis and Mirage both have the tiebreaker over XSET, so that's really, really bad. I mean, it's cool to win against the good teams, but if you're tied at the bottom here, you would much rather have a tiebreaker versus the teams you're stuck down here with. So yeah, currently XSET is in the relegation position. And as you can see, these are almost in reverse order of differential, but I put Beast Coast up here because, again, they still have another game to play, so I think the potential for points is worth more than having the worst differential for the time being. Mirage is still above Astralis. They haven't played, but they have a better differential, and then both these teams have the head-to-head over XSET, as I said, which is taken into consideration more than round differential, so I guess it's just points, head-to-head, differential, and then, or actually, I don't know if it's win percent or differential is higher. Unsure, but it'd be those factors, and then I don't know what happens when all of that is tied. But I guess your head-to-head can't be tied in a stage because it's all just best of ones. It's just the stage head-to-head. So yeah, that was Playday number 4. This is gonna be a super long one because I see my recording's almost at 20 minutes and I have like 4 minutes of clips or whatever. So yeah, I might do a power ranking video, but certainly I will be back with more videos, more predictions, and recaps for the following weeks of the NAL. So I will catch you next time.
Focus on the master take. We'll have the regular, degular, schmegular deployable shield setup.
Sam plowed through Beast Coast, and today we have another 7-1 as it's OXG to do their best TSM impression and plow through